fellow carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, for Top 10 on the 10th, I'll be covering my top 10 badass female characters. But first, a word from our sponsors. The rules of this top 10 list? Well, here they are, and they're pretty simple. Rule number 1, I have to have seen the movie with the character in it. Obviously, if I haven't seen the movie with the character in it, I can't be familiar with how badass that character will be. So I have to have seen the movie in question. Rule number 2, only one character per actor. And that's to keep it fair, because realistically, I could fill this entire list with just Cynthia Rothrock roles. I really could. Instead, to keep it fair to all the other female actors out there in the world who do action movies, only one character per actor. And rule number 3, only one character per movie. And again, that's to keep it fair, because there are movies that'll have just a bunch of badass females in them, but I gotta pick the most badass one to go in this list, because having all of these characters from the same movie would be unfair to all the other movies. And rule number 4, this isn't about who's the best actor. The acting ability really has nothing to do with this list. It's about the character being a badass and being able to show being a badass and just exude badassitude, if you will call it that, or to coin a phrase. It's about the level of the character's badassitude, not so much the actor's ability to act. Coming in at number 10, we have Julie from Heavy Metal 2000. Now, this character is exactly why I have the rule about this is about the characters being a badass and their level of badassitude, and it has nothing to do with their ability to act. Because this character was played by Julie Strain, and Julie Strain can't act her way out of a paper bag. She is a horrible, horrible actress. So her acting ability in no way comes into play with this character's level of badassitude. And this character is a badass. This character, Julie, is a badass. Her entire planet of people was destroyed by this guy who's after eternal life. And she's out for revenge, out to kill all these people who helped destroy her home planet and get the guy who killed her family. She's out for revenge, and she's just cutting people left and right, stabbing, shooting, blowing them up. She is just the epitome of a badass in this movie. She does a fantastic job. One of the reasons why this movie is so low on the list is because it is animated. So the acting came through entirely through the voice, and you can do pretty much anything with animation. So it got a bit of a handicap because of that. It got hurt a little bit because of that. And because it was animated, it was lower on the list. But damn, she did a good job. Damn, the character was fantastic. Julie Strain, she was passable, but most of the badassness of this character came through the animation style and how it was drawn, and it looked good. I mean, a lot of people will say that the animation style looked dated, but personally, I like that style of animation, how the character models look. I prefer that to modern animation that they've got now, but the animation was good. Her action was fantastic in this movie. Lots of explosions, stabbing, and guts and stuff going everywhere. This was a fantastic action role, and I really enjoyed it, and that's why Julie from Heavy Metal 2000 comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Barbed Wire from the movie Barbed Wire. Pamela Anderson just doing this fantastic job playing this badass character who's a bounty hunter and is out getting people and freeing people and saving people who are kidnapped and catching criminals and bad guys and looking sexy as hell while she does it. She is an awesome badass in this movie. A lot of people write this off as just a cheesy skin flick with gunfights, but it's more than that. There's a plot which is fantastic. The acting is pretty good. This is a good movie. It's a staple of its time. It's a cult classic. It's a fun movie. I understand that it's based on a comic series that I'm not familiar with the source material, so I can't judge it based on the source material. I gotta judge it based on what I have in the movie. And the character of Barbed Wire is fantastic. She's shooting people, blowing stuff up, blowing holes in walls to save people who are kidnapped. And the people who hired her to save their kidnapped kid can't afford to pay her, so she takes their car. She is a badass character. It's fantastic. I really love the character of Barbed Wire, and that's why she comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have Cassandra Clay from the movie Mercenaries. Let's be honest, this character was a badass. This whole movie was about this elite team of female mercenaries going out to try and save the president's daughter from some warlord or something. And yet you have these four former prisoners teamed up as this team of mercenaries and sent in to save this girl, save the president's daughter. All of them were kind of badass, but Cassandra Clay was the standout badass. She was the most badass of the group. She was kind of the tactical leader of this group. It was her tactics and her planning and just her resourcefulness that got the mission going. And then, at one point, when you had all the prisoners in there, and you have Cassandra Clay mounting this prison break, it's just her against this entire army of people, and she's just going to town, punching and kicking and shooting stuff. Yeah, the fight scene looks ugly, but it looks like she's not a trained fighter. It looks like the character isn't trained in like Kung Fu or something. She's just trained in what's effective, like punch the guy in the kidney 12 times, and then he'll pee blood for a year. That's the kind of fighting it was, and it was fantastic. It's something you don't see very often, and I love seeing that kind of fighting in movies because it's so rare, but it is so effective, and that is why Cassandra Clay from Mercenaries comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have Tiger from Day of the Warrior. This is quite possibly the most unique character on the list, because she's the only one who's on the list, not so much because of her fighting ability and because her ability to use weapons and just generally kick ass and beat people up. She's on this list because her ability to use a computer. She's a technical badass. She's one of those people who's really intelligent, who's really skilled at what she does. She's kind of like, in this movie, she's the tech genius, she's the tech expert, using computers and things like that, and she just kicks ass at it. She also is good with the machine gun and blowing stuff up, but it's really when you give her the computers and the tech stuff where she shines and she shows off her skill. She is the only one in the group who seems to be even computer illiterate. Everyone else, they look at a computer and is like, hey, this looks like a chicken or something. But she is just brilliant with the computer. She's the tech person, and then she gets sent out in the field because so many people's identities have already been compromised. She's part of this secret government agent, and a lot of their identities have been compromised. She's one of the few who hasn't been compromised, so she gets sent out into the field, and it's just fantastic. She does a great job with the movie. She still picks it back up. She can still use a gun. She can still physically kick ass and blow stuff up, but she also has that computer skill and that intelligence. She's not just a body. She's not just a machine gun. She's not just a fighter. She's also really smart, and that's why Tiger from Day of the Warrior comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have Miho from Sin City. Let's be honest, if you've seen this movie, you know why she's a badass. At one point, she used a sword to practically turn a guy into a Pez dispenser. She didn't cut off his head. She just cut it so his head was going like this knobby bit all over and again, just flopping around on bits of skin and sinew and stuff. She is a badass character. She's a ninja and a hooker, although the hooker thing doesn't really come into play. The ninja part's what makes her a badass, and she's just fantastic at it. She's beating people up, kicking people, stabbing people, hitting with shurikens, cutting off heads and cutting off limbs and stuff. She is fantastic. She is easily the biggest badass in this movie. She doesn't even need to talk to be intimidating. That's how much of a badass Miho is in Sin City, and that is why she comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, we have Donna Hamilton from Hard Hunted. Now, Donna Hamilton the character has been in a lot of movies, but this is the one where she's the most badass, in my opinion. At one point, she pulls the pin out of a grenade. She's been kidnapped in this airplane. She kills this guy and throws him out of the plane. And she's in the plane with the pilot. She grabs a grenade, throws her on the ground of the airplane, and then jumps out seconds before the plane blows up. It's fantastic. It's glorious. Then when she parachutes down, lands, hits her head on a rock, and gets amnesia. Then after she gets her memory back, she kills a guy with a machete. Just like, and death to the guy, and she got a machete and doing it with. And it's fantastic. It's glorious. This is the one where she is easily the most badass. She later blows up a little plane, too. It's fantastic. This is easily the movie where Donna Hamilton is the most badass, and it's fantastic. It's so much fun to watch Donna Hamilton be this badass character, because the actress Donna Spear is so good at playing it. She is Donna Hamilton. It's just fantastic. It's glorious, and she did an amazing job in this movie, and that is why Donna Hamilton from Hard Hunted comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Christy Jones from Undefeatable. This character was played by Cynthia Rothrock, and it is fantastic. She's just fighting people. She's kind of a street fighter who's, trying to get money to put her kid sister through college, and she's a waitress at the same time, but being a waitress ain't paying enough, so she's got to do the fighting thing. Well, eventually, some guy kills her sister, thinking that it's, he's some crazy serial killer guy, and he kills her sister, thinking it's his wife or something, because he lost his frickin' mind. And then Christy Jones is like, I'm going to go and get revenge. So she starts, hunting this guy down with the help of, random cop. And, fighting and stuff. The final epic battle of the movie, she's in it. She's only got one arm because the other one is up in his sling. And she's still sitting there fighting and kicking ass and stuff. She's just wailing on the guy, kicking and punching with one arm. It's fantastic. She's only using one arm throughout this entire fight. Yeah, she's not in the entire fight, but the parts where she's in are just fantastic and glorious. She is an amazing fighter, amazing character who's doing what she's got to do. She doesn't necessarily like it. She's just got to do it, to get them at first to get the money for her kid sister to go through college, and then later on to get revenge and get information about who killed her sister. It's just fantastic. She's just single-minded, just going for it, just getting the information, hunting this guy down, just single-minded. She got tunnel vision and just going after that one goal. And that is why she is such a badass. And that is why Christy Jones from Undefeatable comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have Gina from the movie Gridlocked. This character is played by Trish Stratus, and she's like the SWAT team officer who's part of this elite New York Police Department group, and they're the only ones in this police building training center area. All the rest are taking care of some riot or that the president or some government officials in the city. So most of the police forces there, it's just the SWAT team there in that one building, and a team of bad guys, of mercenaries and stuff, come in to try and steal like this boatload of bearer bonds that are hidden somewhere in the station. It's just fantastic. The massive gun battle. Like the second half of this movie is just this massive gun battle. And they're sitting there shooting and stuff and punching and kicking and stuff. And at one point, Gina, who's this character who's played by Trish Stratus, gets shot in the face. I don't mean like it just grazes her. No, it goes in one side and out the other through her cheeks. It is fantastic. That happens to her, and she keeps fighting. She goes on like it never happened. She might scream. She screamed a little bit when it first happened, like, pain. But then she just kept going. It was fantastic. Like nothing would hold her back. Just pure fire and brimstone and anger and rage and hatred was fueling her, and just she was go forth and destroy the enemy. It was fantastic. Obviously a badass moment. I don't care who you are. If you get shot in the face and continue fighting, you are a badass. I don't care who you are, what you do, that alone makes her a badass character. And that is why she comes in. That is why Gina from Gridlock comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have Elena from the movie Riot. This character was played by Danielle Shirkin. She did an absolutely amazing job with this role. This is the kind of thing, normally when you expect women to fight in movies, you expect like hair pulling and scratching and slapping and stuff. No, this was, fist fights, pure balls to the wall brawling. It was fantastic. Her fight scenes in this movie were better than the male's fight scenes and the main character's fight scenes. They were just fantastic, and they were amazing, and they were glorious. This character almost came in at number 1. The only reason she didn't come in number one on this list is because she just didn't get enough screen time. She really needed more screen time to just show her badassitude and how great she was and how good of a fighter she was. She needed more screen time. She needed to be the lead character of this movie. Really, she was the better character. She was the better fighter. Her action scenes were better. Her acting was better. She should have been the lead of this movie, but she wasn't. She was a supporting character, but she was still the most badass character in this movie, in Riot. She was the best character in the movie. She was just so much fun to watch. Her fight scenes were fun. They were gritty. They were hard hitting. It was just so much fun to watch, so entertaining. And at times you watch these and you see these people get hurt and you're like, ooh, that hurts to watch. It looks so realistic. It's just painful to watch this happen. The fight scenes were fantastic. The action scenes were fantastic. This character was fantastic. She was so badass. It was neck and neck with her and the number one character in this list. The only reason why Elena from Riot didn't come in at number one is because she just didn't get enough screen time. And that is why she comes in at number two. And the number one badass female character is Zoey from Serenity. Let's be honest, this character was played by Gina, and she was just fantastic. Everything about her in this movie was badass. She's the epitome of a strong female character, and she was just glorious. She's a soldier, who turned into kind of a smuggler, shipper type person, and she was just fantastic. She just did a fantastic job. She was glorious, just calm, collected in the face of all danger, of all threats. She's just calm, just take care of business kind of person. At one point, her husband dies, and she watches her husband die, and she just goes balls to the wall fighting this unstoppable wave of villains and bad guys and monsters and people and stuff, and just won't let go. Will fight on to her dying breath, just fighting and killing and stuff, just defending this point. She would give her life for it. She would give her life to kill every single one of those bad guys because they just killed her husband. And she's just fantastic. She's amazing. She is the most badass character in this movie. The most badass one in the movie Serenity. She does a fantastic job. A glorious job. She's just amazing in this role. And she's good looking too, so that's always a nice added bonus. But still, just amazing character. Just amazing acting. I know I said I'm not going to take the acting into consideration when I judge the character's badassness. But she is still just an amazing actor. She played this role beautifully and perfectly. It was fantastic and so much fun to watch this character grow and develop and just be more badass and just plot and destroy and fight onward against this unstoppable wave of enemies. It was fantastic. I loved it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every week and top 10 lists posted on the 10th of every month. Also, if you have any recommendations for things you would like me to cover in the future, please leave them in the comments below and follow us on Twitter at explosions_TV. Thank you and have a nice day.